Your mind is like a glass of muddy water, the more you stir it with worries, the darker it gets. But if you let it settle, clarity appears. Rahul never understood this until the day his own mind became his biggest battlefield. Every morning, he woke up not to a peaceful sunrise, but to a storm of thoughts hammering inside his head. What if I fail my exams? What will people say if I mess up? Everyone else is doing better than me, why am I so slow? He wasn't tired because his body was weak, he was tired because his mind was overcrowded. Like a room filled with scattered books, clothes, and junk, his brain had no space left for focus or positivity. At school, his friends laughed and seemed relaxed, but Rahul kept smiling on the outside while fighting invisible battles inside. He tried studying, but even a single page turned into a mountain. He tried sleeping, but his brain kept replaying past failures like a broken record. Finally, one evening, while trying to solve a math problem for the 10th time, he snapped. He threw his pen down and shouted, "Enough. I can't do this anymore." The walls stayed silent, but his chest was pounding. He felt lost, helpless, almost like drowning in thoughts with no escape. In desperation, Rahul packed a small bag and went to visit his grandfather in the peaceful village. He didn't want comfort, he wanted clarity. Little did he know that life was about to teach him the most powerful lesson of all, to first empty his mind before filling it with success. Rahul arrived at his grandfather's house hoping for answers, but instead, he was greeted with silence. The village was calm, no traffic sounds, no notifications, no rush. Just wind, trees, and peace. For the first time in a long while, his mind slowed down. That evening, Rahul sat with his grandfather on the porch. Without saying a word, his grandfather poured tea into Rahul's cup. The cup filled, and kept filling, until hot tea spilled over. Startled, Rahul jumped back. "Dadaja, the cup is full, stop pouring." His grandfather looked into his eyes and gently said, "Exactly. Your mind is like this cup. Already full, full of fear, regret, comparison. How can new wisdom enter if you don't empty it first?" Rahul froze. That one sentence hit him harder than any motivational quote he had ever read. "But, how do I empty my mind?" he asked softly. His grandfather smiled. 3 steps: forgive, filter, focus. That night, Rahul followed his words. He took a notebook and wrote down every painful memory, every insult, every failure, every voice that told him, "You're not enough." Then, he whispered, "I forgive. I release." Next, he looked at his phone, full of distractions, unnecessary opinions, fake success stories. Without hesitation, he unfollowed toxic accounts, muted negativity, and reduced screen time. Finally, he wrote only 3 goals on a fresh page. No clutter, no overthinking, just clarity. For the first time ever, Rahul felt light. He hadn't changed his life yet, but he had changed his mental space. And that was the beginning of transformation. With his mind finally lighter, Rahul realized something powerful: success doesn't start with doing more, it starts with thinking less. Less confusion, less doubt, less noise. His grandfather repeated one line to him every morning: "An empty mind is not empty, it is focused." So Rahul began rebuilding his routine, not with pressure, but with clarity. Instead of waking up and checking his phone, he stepped outside. He breathed deeply, letting the cool air touch his face. For the first time in years, he heard the silence, and it felt peaceful, not lonely. He set one simple rule for himself: do it now, or schedule it clearly. No overthinking in between. No more half-hearted attempts. No more starting and stopping. If he studied with full focus. If he rested without guilt. He cleaned his room, throwing away old notes filled with negative scribbles. He placed a single motivational quote on his wall: "Clarity creates power." He exercised every morning, not to build muscles, but to build discipline. He started journaling every night, writing not about what went wrong, but what he learned. Slowly, his brain, which once felt like a noisy marketplace, now felt like a clean, organized library. Thoughts were no longer fighting, they were aligned. Friends started noticing a change. He spoke less, but with more certainty. He smiled more, not because everything was perfect, but because for the first time, his mind was at peace. Rahul wasn't at the top yet. He hadn't achieved success yet. But he was finally moving forward, freely, powerfully, and with calm determination.